Deepseek R1 has been all the craze with its model capabilities comparable to O1, but yet at a cheaper price. So today, we're going to learn how to create our own AI agent with Deepseek so that we can chat with it on Telegram anytime we want. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So before we get started, my name is Cal from dainami AI, and my goal is to share effective and amazing AI agents and AI automations that you can use today to get ahead in this AI race. Today, we're going to build an AI agent workflow using Deepseek R1, as you can see over here, and at the end of it, you will be able to chat with it on a Telegram bot just like that. So just to showcase to you the capabilities of what you can do with it, instead of having to chat with Deepseek on the chat interface, you can actually chat with it on your Telegram chat anytime you want, either through your voice or through your text. So I'm going to test it out live to show you how it works. So you can see over here, I've created a Deepseek agent for myself, and so I'm going to chat with it and start typing in, "Hi, are you a Deepseek AI model?" Click enter. I'm going to test the workflow here, and let's take a look. It is running, and you can see over here, it's reply us nicely, right? Telling us that it is Deepseek R1, an AI assistant independently developed by the Chinese company Deepseek Inc. Very cool, and we can also ask it questions using our voice as well. So let's test the workflow, and let's ask it a question. "Hey, how big is the sun and how is it comparable to an apple?" And let's see what happens. Alright, fantastic, isn't it? It has answered our question perfectly, telling us how big is the sun and how big is an apple as well, and how is it comparable to the size of an apple. So it's really cool, and by the end of the video, you will be able to build your own AI agent like this on either Telegram or any other chat interfaces that you want and communicate with Deepseek anywhere you like to. And what's really cool about this is that this is super expandable as well, as you can further customize this to your own liking moving forward using prompts. So let me just run through a view of the workflow and how we're going to build it today. So coming back to any end, this is the specific workflow that we're going to build today. You can see over here we start with a Telegram trigger, and this trigger itself will get information from our Telegram chat. And from here, pass it to a switch, and the switch itself is essentially like a router. It helps us identify whether is it a text file or an audio file. If it's an audio file, it will get the file and transcribe the recording, and then pass it to our agent, who will then be using the Deepseek R1 model to then create a response for us on Telegram. Right. Similarly, if it's a text, it will also pass through the AI agent without having to transcribe, and it will also use Deepseek R1 model to then give us a specific response. And over here, we will also have a window buffer memory to make sure that the AI understand what we're doing. Alright, so now let's go into each of the nodes to really understand how do you build each of them. Okay, alright, and so let's start off with the Telegram trigger. Over here you can see, to create any of these nodes, you just have to click the plus button over here, and you can search for the different nodes that you want to create. So firstly, we can search for Telegram, okay, and we can click enter. And from here, we're going to find trigger on message. Okay, so if you click here, trigger on message, we close this. You can see there is a update on message trigger, and this is what we use for this specific node. Alright, so I'm just going to delete this. And just to show you what's inside this specific node, let's click open. You can see over here, you do need to connect to your Telegram account. So if I click edit over here, you do need to have the access token from the Telegram chat. How do you actually get the Telegram token and create a Telegram bot? So it's actually free of charge, so you just have to go into Telegram, okay, and just have to search for botfather over here. Once you find botfather, you click enter. And over here, it will give you all the instructions needed. So you want to create a new bot by typing /new bot, right? Essentially from here, you just have to follow the instructions and create your new bot. And once you're done with that, you'll get an access token from botfather. And from there, you want to just copy the access token into your NAM platform, all right? And once you have that, you just have to paste that in, and it's connected successfully. We're going to close this. We're going to choose trigger and message, and this is where we want the trigger to be from our chat, either through our message or through our voice. All right, and the rest, we can just keep it empty and click back. Okay, from here, we're just going to create a switch module. So to do that, you just have to click plus again, search for switch, and create a switch module itself. In the switch module over here, we do have a couple of routers. You can see over here, there is no previous node yet. So what I'm going to do to get this information over here is to first click execute previous node. And from here, we're going to go into Telegram. We're going to communicate with our Telegram bot. If you have done the previous step correctly, you will be able to get into this page and communicate with a Telegram bot and get a trigger sent over to any end. So I'm going to just say hi. You can see over here, it has an input over here. What we're going to do over here is to pull the message from text and place it over here in the routing rule option. Okay, so once we have that, what we're going to do is to change this to exist. So strings exist, and we're going to rename this output to text. Okay, but as you can see from the input, we don't have the voice. Right, so what we're going to do is to once again trigger a voice so that the input can actually get that as well. Okay, we're going to press back. We're going to delete this again, and we're going to come back to switch. And this time, let's test the step once again. So let's click test step. Okay, we're going to open up Telegram. We're going to just give it a random voice note. So let's click into this. and say, hey, what's up? What's going on? Alright, and you can see over here, it does get the voice information from us. So all we gotta do is just to copy the voice file ID over here and paste it over here. Okay, and we are good. So once we have that, this is for the second input. Just remember to click expression to make sure that all these JSON syntax actually works. Change these to exist, string exist, rename output, and then we're gonna call it audio. And the last one, we're just gonna click error, rename output error. Right, so to add any of this field, you just have to click add routing rule, and you have the option to add in more switches that you would like to see. Okay, for this example, we're just going to keep it as that, and we are good for the switch. Press back to Canva. Next thing we're going to do is to create a Telegram get file node. So we're going to click plus, and we're going to choose Telegram, and we're going to choose the get a file action. Alright, so once you have that, we're going to open this, and similarly, we're going to pull the voice ID from the Telegram trigger. So you can see over here, this is the one that we want. So just have to drag it over and make sure to change this to expression. And the operation is get, the resource is file, and you want to enable for download. Alright. So this for us to download the audio file so that we can transcribe it to text so that the model can understand and give us an output afterwards. Okay, once we're done with this, we're going to go back. And this time as it's new, we're going to use OpenAI to transcribe the recording for us. Okay, we're going to similarly click plus. We're going to search for an OpenAI, and we're going to search for transcribe a recording. Okay, once you have that, click enter, and you don't have to actually change any of this. You just have to add in your credentials, and so this is where you need to go to platform.openai.com to get your API keys. And then once you have that, you just have to make sure that all of this stays the same. The input data file name will be data, which is from the previous node, which is our Telegram download the file, and the resource will be audio, operation, transcribe a recording. Alright, perfect. Once it's done, you want to create an AI agent. So this is where you're going to click plus again. You're going to search for AI agent, and you just have to create this AI agent node. For the AI agent node, it's quite straightforward. You just have to open this, and from here, you just have to pull over the information, which will be json.text. So how do we get this, right? We're going to execute previous node to see if we can get this information. So you can see over here, once the previous node is executed, we do have the text from OpenAI. So we're just going to drag this over, and we do have this information. Alright, and so if you want to understand more about the basics of AI agent on NAN, you can check out my previous video on a full beginner's guide to AI agent for NAN. Alright, so just to continue this, once this is done, we can keep the rest the same. We can use the tool agent. We have to change the source for prompt to define below so that we can actually add in this json.text. Only then we can map the json.text over. Alright. And once this is done, we can keep the rest the same. And over here, for an agent itself, there will be a need for a chat model, a memory, and some tools. And as of now, Deepseek can't use the tools, but I believe further down the line, if you're watching this video on a later date, I believe Deepseek will be able to use the tools as well. And for now, we're just going to keep it simple. We're just going to connect the chat model to Deepseek and then have a memory so that we can have a simple Deepseek agent on our Telegram chat. Alright, and so let's click back again. Okay, and over here, you want to finish up the text switch as well. So you just have to drag this over, okay, and then you will create a new node, right? So once you click the plus button, you will be able to create a new node, and you want to search for edit fields, right? Edit fields over here, and over here, what you're going to do is to click enter, and you want to change the text field. So over here, what you want to do is to copy over this JSON message.text. So you want to convert this field to set into this so that it will be the same as the audio file as well, okay? So once this is done, we're going to go back to Canva, and we should be able to connect this to the AI agent as well, just by dragging it over. And we're done with the very first part of our AI agent. Okay, so now just to finish up, we really want to have the power of the AI agent. But before we get into that, we just have to complete this by adding the final part of it, which is to reply us on Telegram. So this is where we're going to add plus again. We're going to search for the Telegram node. We're going to find send message, okay, and we're going to click this. And it should create one new one for us. We're going to delete this one because we already have one. So delete this. Come back. Click open. You can see over here, all we gotta do is to have the trigger from the Telegram chat. So to get a trigger, we just have to test the step. And once you test the step, you will have the Telegram trigger over here. You just have to drag over the chat ID. So you can see over here, drag the chat ID over here. It should give you the same JSON syntax. Alright. And below for text, it's the same. We just have to find the output from the AI agent. This is where we want to return the AI agent's output back to us on Telegram. So we just have to copy this and paste it over. Okay. And that's it, and you're done for this part. And for the rest, we can keep it the same. We want to add a few, and we'll append n8n attribution, turn this off. This is so that the reply doesn't have the message was sent automatically with n8n. Okay, perfect. Once it's done, we just have to connect the most important part, which is the Deepseek model and the window buffer memory. So to connect the window buffer memory, you just have to click into memory and click open, search for window buffer memory. So for window buffer memory, you just have to define below, and then you're going to click expression, and you're just going to type this in json.text, because the model will be having text files as an input from us. And the context window is how many interactions the model will receive as context. So we can keep this as 5, or you can increase this depending on what you want. Alright, okay, press back to Canva. Now the most important part is how we're going to connect the Deepseek R1 model to our AI agent. Firstly, we're going to go into a page called Open Router. So Open Router allows us to connect and get the API to connect it over to n8n. Alright, and so get into Open Router, and all you gotta do is to create an account and get some credits. Once you have the credit, you're gonna search for Deepseek R1. Over here, you can click into API, and you can create an API key. Okay, once you have created an API key, you want to save this for later. We're going to go back to n8n, and we're going to click a model, right? So for the model itself, we're actually going to choose the OpenAI model. And once you open that, we're going to change the credentials first. So what we're going to do is to change it to something we have over here like Deepseek. So first what we got to do is to create a new credential. Okay, and then you're going to add in the API key you have gotten from the Open Router. Okay, and then from here, you're going to add the base URL, which is for Open Router. Right, so where we're going to find that is to go into the Deepseek R1 API. Okay, you can see over here there's a base URL. So we're going to copy this, and this will be what we use for the Open Router over here. Okay, once this is done, we're going to close this, and we're going to change the model to Deepseek R1. So where we're going to find that is to go back to Open Router once again. We're going to go into Overview. So we're going to go back to Deepseek R1 again. We're just going to go to the top, and we're just going to copy this model. Okay, and we're going to go back to n8n, paste this in, and we're good to go. So other things you can do is actually change the name of the node to Deepseek R1 to help myself understand better. Alright, okay, and once this is done, press back to Canva, click save, and there you have it. Just by doing this, you're now able to connect your Deepseek R1 model to your AI agent and have a chatbot like this that allows you to chat with it anytime and anywhere you want through voice or through text, and connect to the Deepseek model, which is definitely something that's phenomenal and on the rise. And this is an example of connecting to a large language model other than OpenAI. And so from here, the possibilities are really endless. So do give it a try and build your own Deepseek AI agent and chat with it, and let me know what you think. So I hope you found this video useful. Let me know what other AI agent tutorials you'd like to see in the comments below. If you like videos like these and want to learn more about AI agents and AI automations, do give it a like and subscribe. Once again, I really appreciate you, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.